You
You
should
should take
take
that
heartworm
dewormer. That's
medication.
what you should do.
That's what y'all should do. What the
Mhm.
hell were they thinking? Oh, hold on. I figured it out. I figured it out. They're probably someone that owns a shit ton of stock in Merck, the company that makes that drug.
Ivermectin is Merck. It's
I
Merck.
believe so. Yeah.
So I'm surprised. So it's kind of like that monoclonal
Uh huh.
antibody where somebody's making money,
Right.
and that's what it is, and that
Mm-hmm.
always comes
It
back
always
to
comes
money.
back to money. Capitalism is killing us, y'all. That's not just a thing I like to say, but
and
it's like
and we're
legitimately
like
yes.
and we're like doing like with open arms allowing it to happen. Well, some of us are.
Yes. Many.
I will
Half of
not.
us.
I
Half
will
of
not be
us.
taking ivermectin.
No. No, me neither. Uh, you know, what we've done is we actually took the pandemic seriously
Mm-hmm.
and like got our vaccines and we still don't go places.
Mm.
We're still, like staying home and I've had people reach out to me. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna be around. Do you want to like get together?" And I'm like, "Yes, but we're not going to
Yeah.
because it's not safe. Like, yeah, I'd love to see you and hang out and that'd be great and all, but we can't. We can't."
Devin!
Devin's in his house. Hi,
Whoop
Devin.
whoop!
I'm here.
Yay!
Finally made it. Sorry about that.
It's all
Are we
right.
talking about COVID
We are.
Of
We're
again?
talking
course.
about ivermectin. Do you want some? Have you had any?
Does it taste like
What's
apples?
it
Then
taste like?
yes.
Yeah. It's like
So gross. I'm
cherry,
sorry.
God, Devin,
cherry,
what's going
cherry
on right
flavored,
now?
cherry flavored
What?
ivermectin. You can get it at the local CVS.
Oh, with a picture of your horse. I've got
Right,
a light bulb going.
you have to show the picture of your horse. Yes.
Yeah. So, how's it going, everyone?
So apparently
Good.
we were just talking. I don't know if you know this, but apparently
Oh,
now if you're in the hospital, sorry, if your husband's in the hospital and you want him to have a drug, what you do is you go down to the local courthouse and get
yes,
a judge to write the
yes.
prescription. That's how medicine works now,
That's
as
how.
I
Yes,
as I
I can.
understand.
As someone in the medical profession, I guess you can say
Mm-hmm.
that is 100% true. 100% true. Not
Cool.
true at all, actually.
Devin,
So
tell us how the hell you are, and I'm gonna reload my drink while you do that because we just fought through the bullshit technical bullshit
Technical, yeah,
stupid
oh,
nonsense.
jeez.
difficulties.
I'm just trying to get set up here. I've been so busy today. Sorry about my technical issues here. Um, well, things are great with me. I am getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch a flight to Sacramento.
What the hell are you doing that for?
Yeah. I had an aunt who died under mysterious
Oh
circumstances,
Oh
no.
no.
Oh,
and
I saw your sister post that. That's right. I did see that.
someone's got to go pick up the ashes, and I think now my sister's going to do that, but I'm going to be there for support
Good.
and to represent the family since she
Right.
didn't communicate with many members of our family. And so I'm going to be the good niece and show up. And it's kind of weird because like I literally haven't seen her in person since my senior prom,
Oh
Mm.
wow.
like in the 90s. Like she never ever came back home to visit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had this big thing. Like my husband's like, Aunt Tammy doesn't exist. I've never seen this woman. There aren't any pictures of her. She's not real. I'm like, she does exist. So we actually had a huge trip planned after the American Atheist Convention in 2020, that we were going to, after Phoenix, we were going to go up to Sacramento and like I'd meet them, my family in Vegas, and we go to Sacramento together and we'd meet Aunt Tammy and I could prove that she's real. And COVID kind of shut that down. And
Yeah.
she's never met anyone in my
Wow.
family.
Oh.
So it's a little sad, a little crazy, but we've got to go clean out everything at her house.
Right.
It's my
Bummer.
first flight in almost a year, like 2 years. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm gonna saran
You'll,
wrap myself, I
yeah,
guess.
they'll make you wear your mask like all the time, which is great.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
okay
I'm
with that.
too. They're really good about it. So wear your mask. You should be fine.
But yeah, so that's happening. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Wonderful.
But that is so this week has been a lot of like trying to get ready for this, and you know, this and that,
Yeah.
this, that, and the other thing,
Stuff and things.
doing shit,
Stuff and
So, yeah.
things.
getting angry, always angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we talked about Texas yet? Because
No, I
Not
saved
yet.
it
We
for
were
you because
saving
I
it for
knew
you.
I knew you'd want to go
I'm so
there.
ragey. I'm so ragey right now.
I have one last COVID story, and then we'll go to
Please
the
do.
great state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the last COVID story that I have comes from my home state of Illinois.
Woot woot.
Health officials in Illinois have linked nearly 200 COVID-19 cases to two events: a church camp for teens and a men's conference. And the number of people who may have been exposed, of course, is probably a lot greater, and from multiple states. Organization held a 5-day church camp for teens and a 2-day men's conference in June that have since been linked to a spike in cases following research by the Illinois Department of Public Health. The CDC said in a report Monday they did not name the organization, which is unfortunate because I'd like to shame them.
Shame them.
Don't get together right now, y'all. Look,
Stupid.
it's so frustrating. I'm going to talk a little bit later about some things I'm doing this weekend. And like, you have to make decisions for your own organization. I can, whatever. But like, don't be getting together, y'all. It's not time yet. It's not. I know you're tired of being.
We are
locked.
all tired.
We're all
We are
tired.
so sleepy tired of this whole thing.
Yeah. But we
It's
all
not.
want to be alive. We want to make it to like 2023.
Yes.
Come on.
We
Yeah.
sure
No.
do.
So
Sure.
don't go to church camp, I think, is the moral to that story.
I mean, there wasn't an issue with us going to church camp in this group, but I mean,
I have I ever told the church camp story on the show? I don't think I have.
I don't know, but church camp is like some of my happiest memories growing up.
We had one youth group in all of our 9 churches in town.
Mhm.
Only one of them had a youth group, and they did the church camp thing. It was the Presbyterian church. And
I always wondered, what do you do in church camp? Like,
Let me tell
I didn't
you.
go. I never went, so I can't
Really?
enlighten me on what I missed. So
well, I never went either, and here's why. Okay, this is back when I was I was deep Bible believing,
Mhm.
writing sermons, teaching Bible studies, and I was gonna go, and we were all sitting outside the church. This is the dumbest fucking story, you guys.
Those are the best ones.
We're all sitting outside the church, and this other guy and I are playing guitars, and a string snapped on my guitar, and I didn't have a spare. And that was a sign to me that this wasn't the place that I should be.
This is a sign from God.
That's why I took it as a sign from God. You should
Just-
not go on this trip. And I didn't. I left and went home.
And what happened on that trip
That was it.
you missed? Like,
I have
did
no
the
idea.
Plane crash into the camp and everyone
No,
died.
everything
or-
was fine. They had a great time.
Oh, because you weren't there.
But also, like, I was kind of an antisocial kid, and I didn't really fit
you
into
were like
any
looking
of the
for a
groups.
reason.
And
You're like, hey,
yeah,
this is fine.
I was totally looking for a reason to back out of it. Absolutely. Yep.
God,
Anyway,
no, church camp's so much fun.
What do you do? What do you do there?
You
Like,
wake up early. This
Yeah.
this is coming from the girl who won like best camper every single week she ever went, and
God.
just went to
Goody
every
two
single week of
shoes.
church camp.
uh-huh.
I was so good. If it wasn't for the fact that I had a vagina, I still do, but like I have a vagina, I'd be running Christian world right now. But you get up early, you do your devotions, you have your little flag raising, patriotic saluting shit,
Mhm.
breakfast, and then you go to like classes, which are really lame. It's pretty much just memorizing Bible verses. It's really dumb, but like you get to do weenie roasts and play games and lots of games, just a lot of games. Like it was not like board games, but like actual fun shit.
Mhm.
Some church camps are not that though. So, like,
some camps are lame.
yeah.
I mean, mine that I went to was really lame, but I don't know, but like then there's campfire and they have all the Vesper type things, and you get all weepy and Christiany and feel close to God and all that.
Uh-huh.
Um, the kind of it's an emotional mind fuck is what it is actually.
Mm.
Come to think of it,
Yeah.
And it's
But, you
just
know,
kids, just
it's just
young
kids.
young people, no parents.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's fun. I always had a good time. Like in retrospect, it was a mind fuck, but
Yeah.
I had fun when I was there. So it is a breeding ground for Christian fascism, is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Indoctrination.
It is
indoctrination
indoctrination
camp.
it's pure
Yep.
on indoctrination,
Yep.
but they make it fun. So that's
So that you
That-
don't know you're being indoctrinated.
Right.
Mhm. That's true. And so I know like a lot of the people that I went with are now like really highly indoctrinated because they just never left. They,
Hmm.
they but I got away.
So let's see. As of mid-August, 180 COVID-19 cases had been linked to those who attended one of those events or to someone who had close contact with an attendee. Majority of those cases, 122, were attributed to attendees, 87 people contracting COVID-19 during the camp and 35 during the conference. Most of the cases, 104, were unvaccinated people. I know you're shocked to hear that.
Oh,
What with the vaccine being a fake hoax and whatnot.
it ain't real.
Oh my God. Only 5 people were hospitalized, none of whom had been vaccinated, and no deaths were reported. But officials say that more than 1,000 people across at least 4 states could have been exposed through these 2 events.
Yeah.
The report points to these cases as an example of the dangers of hosting large events with little to no safeguards in place. Attendees at both events were not required to be vaccinated, and organizers did not require participants to get tested before allowing entry. Nearly 300 teens between the ages of 14 and 18 attended the camp after traveling together in large groups on buses. They spent the week living and dining together and mingling with other campers. Now,
All those germs.
You mean
germs,
incubating?
germs,
They
germs.
incubate
Right, yes.
together.
right. I just dawned on me another like life thing that happened this week. We made the very difficult decision, my wife and I and our friend Jason, Mama,
Mhm.
that we canceled our stay at the Recovering from Religion retreat in 2 weeks.
You were looking forward to
Really looking forward to that, very much so.
Yeah, it sounded like it was
But-
going to be so much fun. And yeah.
And like
But-
again, you
Okay,
got to
that's a
make the decisions for
yeah.
your family, right?
yeah.
But in the case of my family, my wife is immune compromised, and my
Mhm.
kids aren't old enough to get vaccinated yet, and we just can't take that chance. We
Right.
just can't. So yeah, we're like real chuffed that we're not going to be able to get to go do this, have fun at the retreat. But you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's
Because
sad.
again, like I would rather us all be alive to do it next year
Yeah.
and pass on it another year.
Unless you
Yeah.
die in Sacramento. I can see anybody.
Please don't.
Wear your mask. Wear your
Yeah,
mask.
definitely.
I'm actually going to be going on a cruise, on the Black Non-Believers cruise in
Oh, that's coming
November.
up too.
But the good thing is that the cruise line does require you to be vaccinated, and they also, which I'm not looking forward to this, do a COVID test. Like I'm
Oh.
not looking at something being shoved up my nose prior
No.
to it, and then so yeah, before you could even get on the damn boat. So
Mhm.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
That test is motivation enough for me to do all the things you ask me to do to keep from getting COVID.
Yeah. I'm just like,
if
have you guys
if you don't
had
have to
it?
shove that thing up my nose.
You get
Have-
to do it
I'm good.
yourself. A lot of places have you do it yourself now.
That's
So
even
it's not
worse.
so-
Yeah, I know.
Like
It-
I don't want to
It's
do
not like
it.
it's your
like-
finger.
I know, but it's like I'm like, what if I don't shove it up there far enough? I've
No,
not had
it's gonna get the. It's
That's
fine.
when they grab it and do it for you.
it.
Uh,
No. Ugh.
Now, I will say the Recovering from Religion excursion, fall excursion, very much the same, right? Like we all had to show our vaccine cards when we
Right.
booked. Nobody can show up if they haven't been vaccinated, and they're taking all the precautions. But like,
Yeah.
breakthrough cases, and again, like you can still get it and carry it around and transmit it to others, and our kids can't be vaccinated. So there was just,
Yep.
there were a lot of things in that decision that we just had to,
You had to wait. Yeah.
yeah. Texas, and let's Devin, let's kick off the Texas discussion
The stars at night.
with your explanation of the craft project that we came up with. No, look here, they're right on the
Oh, I had them
screen.
here. Here they
Oh,
are.
well, you can show us to them too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, this is an idea by Sarah. I believe on your other show. I have them right here. And I believe your quote is something like, "Who cares about babies in the womb?"
Yeah, so
just
in the
give us-
intro to my show, it says something about they don't care about children after they're born. They only care about children in the womb. And once they're born, they can just pull up their little fucking bootstraps, right?
Right.
So now we have
So
little
I
baby
made-
bootstraps.
I made some bootstraps.
That's awesome. I love
I,
it.
think I like the blue one the best.
Mhm.
Whatever it is. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of forced birth kids coming out in Texas probably. And it's going to be they're going to need their bootstraps because once they're out of mama's vagina, on their own.
Done
They're
and
on their
done and done. Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. They're not very good, but I think they send a message. And,
I think they do.
They look kind of like devil horns, like a ram. God, which way is my camera? Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think
But
it's
that's
fun.
really the point. Like, because all of these people, and we'll get to the details, but all of these people who are pushing these abortion bans and abortion is bad and murdering babies and whatever. Okay. All right. Let's just play along for one hot second and say that you're right.
Mhm.
How willing are you to set up systems of welfare to ensure that those children are taken care of after they're born? Don't you take my taxes.
No, they're
Done.
not. They don't
Okay,
want to
well then-
adopt them. They don't
No,
want to pay extra taxes to provide some kind of assistance for these kids growing
No.
up in group homes, foster
Nope.
care, blah, blah, blah. And then what happens to them is there's abuse. And then what do they end up? They don't want to take care of their homeless people in Texas. Texas has a big problem with
yeah,
it.
big problem.
So
yeah.
We've got over like 200 people on death row. Come on, this is not a pro-life decision.
right.
No.
This is not based on the heartbeat because those people have heartbeats. that are
Texas is
sitting in the
not
jail.
it's not exactly the gold star of
Logic.
Pro-life.
Empathy or
Yeah.
pro-life. Reason, empathy, pro-life.
Anything. Yeah.
Anything.
It's so funny to me, like
God.
like you said, Sarah, like they're so concerned about a fetus, but
Mhm.
then after they're born, they send them to school. Oh, don't wear a mask. Like
Yeah.
so that like okay, we
don't
can't
care.
kill you in the womb, but let's kill you when you're in school.
Mhm.
Like let's find a way to kill you later on.
Yeah,
Which makes no sense.
yeah. Because guess which kids are most detrimentally affected by the sorts of policies that these people are passing and putting through.
Ooh,
It's
which ones?
lower income kids and
What?
kids of color and all of the classes of humanity that they wish would
Mhm.
just die off and go away anyway.
Right.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Yep. Correct. That is correct.
So in Texas,
Hmm.
uh,
When do I scream? When do I start screaming? Because
I
I have
got
been
my-
so
let me get my-
fired up. I've been so fired up
Go.
this week.
Let me get my horn.
No, go ahead. I'm just livid.
all right. For those of you who've been
Totally
living
livid.
under rocks, I'll go through a couple of the stories. This is from Florida Politics. A deeply divided Supreme Court is allowing a Texas law that bans most abortions to remain in force, for now stripping most women of the right to an abortion in the nation's second largest state. Court voted 5-4 to deny an emergency appeal from abortion providers and others that sought to block enforcement of the law that went into effect Wednesday. But the justices also suggested that their order likely isn't the last word on whether the law can stand, because other challenges to it can still be brought. The Texas law, signed by Republican Governor Greg Abbott in May, prohibits abortions once medical professionals can detect cardiac activity, usually around 6 weeks and before many women know they're pregnant. I will pause to thank them for not saying the words fetal heartbeat, because that's not what it is.
Because it's not a fucking heart.
And also before many
It's not
people,
even a fetus. It's not even a fetus yet.
before many people know they're pregnant, right? Not just women. Yeah, exactly. Clumps of cells
It's not even
with
a
some
fetus
electrical
yet.
activity.
Yes.
It's sorry. Proceed.
It is the strictest law against abortion rights in the United States since the High Court's landmark Roe v. Wade decision in 1973, and part of a broader push by Republicans nationwide to impose new restrictions on abortion. At least 12 other states have enacted bans early in pregnancy, but all have been blocked from going into effect. The High Court's order declining to halt the Texas law came just before midnight Wednesday. The majority said those bringing the case had not met the high burden required for a stay of the law. Quote, in reaching this conclusion, we stress that we do not purport to resolve definitively any jurisdictional or substantive claim on in the applicant's lawsuit. In particular, this order is not based on any conclusion about the constitutionality of Texas's law and in no way limits other procedurally proper challenges to the Texas law, including in Texas state courts.
I hate our timeline.
I do too. Look, we got to go back to 1955 and get the almanac from Biff. That's what we have to do. I've been saying that since 2016. Nobody's done that yet.
Well, it's the time we tried.
Now,
So yeah.
now, why do we care about that?
Ooh, let me see. Is it because Texas and Florida are in a race to be the worst?
Yes.
Is that why? Because
Yep. What Texas does, we
Yeah.
end up doing.
the whole South and whatever Florida or
Georgia.
Texas do,
Mhm.
the entire South follows.
Yeah.
Because if they can get away with it, everyone else can too.
Right.
And like Texas, I believe is just like Florida in that they have more registered Democrats. Like it's bluer than it is red. It's just the gerrymandering that
Right.
affects that, like, mitigates that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I continue. Sorry, I'll rage. I'm getting my
Okay.
rage.
I would just, the only thing I might add to that is, like, there are some legitimate people that would look at us and be like, oh, a bunch of atheists, why do you care? From the humanist perspective, right, we're looking at bodily autonomy.
Mhm.
And that really is the driving argument to this whole fucking debate. That really once I understood the bodily autonomy argument, completely changed the way I think about abortion. I was still hanging on to like some of that old Christian shit that I was, indoctrinated with growing up, but you're killing babies and whatnot. I carried that for a long time, and while I shed the you're killing babies stuff and God hates that, I still carried that like gut sense of this isn't right for a long time after,
Really
until
long time.
I want to say it was Jen Peoples and Tracy Harris talking about it on Atheist Experience years ago,
Yeah.
with a caller about like all of those really poignant examples about like if my child needed an organ transplant or a blood transfusion, and the only person on the planet that could possibly give this to my child was me, I would do it because I'm not a dick.
Mhm.
But the state can't compel me to do it,
Mhm.
and that's the difference. Because I'm an autonomous human being that makes decisions over my own body, and the government doesn't get to come tell me what to do with my body. Those kinds of the arguments that they made like really changed the way I think about this. So just in case anybody was wondering, like, why this is even an issue a thing that we care about, like, this is,
It's not fair. I mean, why does the law dictate what a woman can do with her body?
We're not forcing vasectomies, though.
Right.
No.
I'm just like, what kind of laws can we pass to that like can that affect men?
Mhm.
Let's ban Viagra. Boy, you would see some kind of
Lordy, no.
like uproar. Let's ban something. Let's do something to where men can't do something, and then you'll see
Yep.
a completely different story.
At the
It's
end of the day,
always
it's
the
all
women.
about control.
It is.
Yep.
Yep. So the second half of this story is that, as you said, when Texas says, hey, watch this, Florida goes, hold my beer,
Mm-hmm.
we're
Sure
coming. This is out of the Florida Phoenix. Some 8,000 protesters on both sides of the abortion issue paraded for legislators who convened a special session of the Florida legislature in 1989. The abortion issue continues to draw attention in state capitals in Florida and elsewhere. A Texas law that heavily restricts access to abortions could have astounding implications for the landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision Roe v. Wade, and Florida advocates on both sides of the issue are expected to see Texas law seep into Florida's 2022 legislative session. So it's interesting that Florida has, interesting, not surprising at all, but like Florida has been on the front lines of this since jump. The Florida Senate is considering a similar measure, according to a statement Florida Senate President Wilton Simpson. Abortion kills children and forever changes the life of the mother, the father, and the entire extended family, Simpson wrote in a statement.
COVID kills children.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's up to your choice as a parent whether you want to make your kid wear a mask or not. As an adoptive child myself, he says, it's important to me that we do everything we can to promote adoption and prevent abortion. Therefore, I think it's worthwhile to take a look at the Texas law and see if there's more we can do here in Florida. Abortion rights advocates fear that the Texas law is part of a national agenda to end abortion access. It is.
Absolutely.
Planned Parenthood Action Florida tweeted Thursday, we're very early in the process for the 2022 legislative session, and key legislators are already using extreme rhetoric to support a harmful abortion ban in Florida. It's going to be a long fight to protect reproductive rights this year.
It sure is. It sure is. So where to begin with this? In terms of the Florida, how Florida's going to take this. So one of the most egregious things in the Texas bill is the whole bounty hunter type deal, where you can go, you can be fined. The patient won't be fined, but an individual or business that assists the woman or person in getting the abortion can be fined up to like $10,000 for assisting. And that could be literally an Uber driver picking up someone to take them to the clinic. They don't know this person. They're just doing their damn job.
Yeah.
But that technically falls into the realm of helping someone get an abortion. And so, no, there's also going to be the whole mean girl aspect. This goes like, we talked about this with the trans sports ban here in Florida. Like, people can be like, oh, so-and-so got an abortion. Let's ruin her life and, report everybody around her. And so you have to sit there and fight that shit off, So it's going to turn straight up mean girls. But it's interesting that, there's no $10,000 fine for the male actually impregnating the person to that eventually gets the abortion.
Of course there's not.
No.
But
the man's world.
Yeah, but here in Florida, like it's different in that like our abortion laws are couched in privacy, like our right to privacy, and that's how we're different than a lot of other states. So the whole bounty hunter thing probably wouldn't fly. However, that doesn't stop the whole stupid, I hate the word, like fetal heartbeat bills. Like this doesn't mean it's going to stop at the 6 week. They can easily do a 6 week ban, and they are emboldened to do so. In fact, a bill was already filed into drafting the day after the Texas decision, or the day of the Texas decision.
Motherfuckers.
So that's something that's happening. Another issue that we have here in Florida is I believe this is like, so we have a 24-hour waiting. There was supposed to be a 24-hour waiting period to get an abortion in Florida. And I don't think that's the case because there's currently this case that's been sitting in state appeals court or federal, I don't know, somewhere in the court process, and it's just been sitting there for years and kind of bleh. But so far there's an injunction on it, so I don't think that waiting period is in effect. But because of all of this stuff, there's been word that that's going to be pushed through
Uh-huh.
to the state Supreme Court, and that wouldn't be good because Governor DeSantis just appointed several very, very anti-choice, very anti-choice justices, including one who works as a pro bono lawyer for the fake clinics to defend fake clinics out there, the fake pregnancy clinics. So, that's not going to go in our favor. So we would definitely have to have a waiting period. The waiting period will come back into effect here. Possibly the reason ban will be brought up this year, 6-week, limit
Mhm.
on abort. It's just fucking, I hate this state sometimes.
I do too. And again, like in the context of everything that we've been talking about the last several weeks, the last several months, like all last session,
Mhm.
this is what we're worried about. Like,
This is what we're worried about.
Yeah.
we'll
We have kids
march
dying.
kids to their deaths at school.
Yep.
But this is very important. We have to get on this. We have to address this.
Yeah. It's infuriating.
It is infuriating.
But I mean, like I remember like when we were doing this show towards the end of the legislative session last
Mhm.
well, like, it's been a couple months, but we were fucking exhausted. Like
Yeah.
we were just dead, like emotionally dead.
Mhm.
Spiritually, I don't think that's a real thing, but just like
No, but I know
our,
what you mean when you say
our,
it.
our soul was just sucked. We were
Yep.
just exhausted on all levels.
Yep.
I already feel like that already.
And it's just getting
And
started.
we are 2